Hello and welcome back. My name is Hex, and if you're new here, I thank you for watching. Even if you're not new here, I thank you. I just invested a ton of money in a brand new microphone setup, so I hope this sounds better. Let me know what you think. Drop some opinions in my comments section, please and thank you. In today's video, I will discuss if narcissism is actually treatable. I will give my general advice and my own experiences with treatment. I will also discuss a possible treatment plan or a theory for someone suffering through the disorder. Remember, this is only a theory, and it's based on what I believe 100% without any doubts what would have worked for me had it been done to me. Now, there is a multitude of views and perspectives on how to treat narcissism. Today, I'll explore this in detail. First and foremost, it's essential to understand that narcissism isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It exists on a spectrum, just like any other personality traits or disorders. This spectrum includes various levels from mild to severe extreme narcissism. So that's crucial to recognize this, to appreciate the different presentations of narcissism. If I was forced to diagnose myself, I would say I hovered between covert and overt narcissism. I remember reading through some old text messages I sent to my ex-wife. I was calling myself a godlike, a superhuman, demigod so often. Then sometimes internally I would want to unalive myself. I believe I have no value, for example. So the main types of narcissism, there's two primary types. The first is the grandiose type, which is often the one that comes to mind when people hear about narcissism. Celebrities, for example, these individuals have an exaggerated self-importance, sense of self-importance, constantly seeking recognition and admiration, even if their actual achievements don't always warrant it. For example, like texting you all day, checking in on you, harassing you all day, expecting a reply even in a workplace environment, for example. Narcissists live in a world of fantasies where they are exceptionally powerful, successful, brilliant, beautiful, deserving of perfect ideal love. I often ruminate about my past and how different I see things now, where I once thought so incredibly high of myself. However, the last 2 years, I have let a ton of air out of my overinflated ego through therapy, books, etc. The grandiose narcissist's need for constant admiration can be compared to maybe petting a cat or a puppy or puppy training. I know puppies are tons more work typically than cats. I was thinking about even how babies need so much attention all the time. However, even a baby will let you rest up with some naps, and babies will disrupt sleep, but there are long periods of rest as well. It's just a constant overflow of attention they need. Insatiable desire for validation and recognition. They have a strong sense of entitlement, expecting special favors and automatic compliance with their random expectations. So on the other side of this, we have vulnerable narcissism, which is often referred to as covert narcissism. Think silent but deadly. Individuals with this form of narcissism are more defensive and avoidant, extremely hypersensitive, constantly worried about criticism and insults and attacks. They need recognition, but they feel underestimated. They feel unloved. It can lead to passive-aggressive approaches in any and all relationships. Covert narcissism is a very sinister form of narcissism, one you won't often see coming until it's too late, unfortunately. But both types of narcissism share common traits: self-centeredness, lack of empathy, need for attention, need for admiration. The empathy part, to me, is debatable. I don't want to veer too far off track today. However, I feel I do have empathy. It's just more difficult. I discovered the last couple years, very difficult to access it sometimes, but I know it's there. Now, the big differences lie in how these narcissist traits manifest and present behaviors. Now, the big question that we need to address is whether individuals with narcissism can benefit from treatment. In short, yes. However, there is also a common belief there is no real cure for NPD. There's truth there too. Most often, any sickness is not curable if the sick person will not seek help. So if a narcissist really wants to change, this is possible if given the proper environment and the proper motivations. I'm going to address this again towards the end of the video with my proposed theory on a cure. Obviously, one key factor that makes treatment challenging is most individuals along the narcissist spectrum do not actively seek treatment. They don't perceive any issues with their behaviors and are resistant to even acknowledging any problems. It's everyone else's fault. This lack of willingness to seek help is a huge hurdle in the treatment process. Like me, when I went to therapy in the beginning, it was only to make my ex-wife happy. She made me promise to go for 6 months. It was all BS to me. I genuinely believed at the time I was smarter than everyone else, smarter than any therapist. I absolutely didn't need therapy. So I went for 6 months to entertain this. However, it ended up working on me. That's a different story. Now, I will say, I only went after my daughter first called me a narcissist. My ex-wife did the same thing. I only stayed in therapy as I slowly recognized myself as being toxic to my family as well as everyone around me. My need for change was to learn how to treat my family better and learn how to save my own life. Having narcissism is massively self-destructive, as you are cursed, you are hexed to a lifetime of pushing everyone away and suffering a lonely existence. Quite often you feel as if everyone and everyone else is to blame. In therapy, you aim to repair the core content of narcissism. There's so many emotions that come from this: rage, guilt, shame, doubt, inferiority. However, narcissists often avoid treatment because they fear that addressing these issues will threaten their sense of who they really are, their sense of self-worth even. They may not even want to let go of their maladaptive coping strategies. For me, it was very difficult to unravel and confront my past toxic behaviors and then realize why I did those things. In a simple word, trauma from childhood. That explains part of what happened to me. But it is important to note that treatment for narcissism is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Each individual may require a personalized approach, which adds complications to the process. So most therapists will not even treat NPD. Quite often it's an unknown disorder to them. Even now, we're still learning things about NPD. It says 1 to 6% of the American population has a form of narcissism. I still don't know how that's possible. It has to be higher. especially if a covert narc would just drop therapy. Who would know that? Coverts are probably the more higher percentile of NPD in the world, probably. See, now a therapist's role is to just guide a narcissist to confront their core content and give them new tools or new adaptive strategies to meet their needs in a healthier way. And there must be at some point an ability to recognize and confront the childhood traumas as well. This may or may not even apply, as some narcissists have minimum childhood traumas. Some don't even realize they had any trauma. People tell me that all the time. It may just simply not be in the memory bank anymore. Now, the therapist must navigate the fragile ego of the narcissist individual while encouraging them to remain in therapy and commit to the process. That's the biggest challenge. Narcissists could easily get offended by almost anything. I will tell you that I dropped my therapist after she diagnosed me, unfortunately. However, after thinking on it some, I was finally able to settle in, and I had to force myself to keep going. So while treating narcissism is definitely a complex and challenging endeavor, it is not impossible. By understanding the core content of narcissism and providing adaptive strategies, main ingredient to all of this is a desire to change. The narcissist has to put aside the ego. Individuals with NPD can work towards healthier patterns, healthier behaviors. I know after 2 years of therapy now, I feel so much happier, and I have much better bonds with my children now. So I will now propose a theory on a possible cure for NPD. This is something that, if applied to me and done to me, when I was in the deepest part of my narcissism, thinking that I'm godlike, I really think this would have worked. But remember, 3 different people called me a narcissist, see? My daughter said it first, then my ex-wife, then my therapist. For me, it just took 3 different people that don't really speak to one another. I had to accept it. Maybe there's something wrong after all. Okay, so to do this, it would require a group effort. Family, friends, even co-workers if possible. Each person must write a short letter on the dirty deeds a narc has done to them, an intervention-style confrontation. However, the narcissist must face consequences if they refuse therapy. In a sense, yes, you're bribing them to get therapy or cutting them off. It'll start with the wife, then the family, then the friends, then the co-workers, reading letters of what the dirty deeds are the narc did to them. Wife might have caught him cheating. The friend was betrayed. So on and so forth. Obviously, the narc will become upset with everyone. However, trust me, the narcissist is always upset. I remember my days would so often go, 2 years back, I would actually have a sort of checklist. I would wake up and go down the list of transgressions, starting from my ex-wife to the children. Now, if nobody did nothing at all that day, my go-to would be to bring up the past and start an argument that way. Maybe we can argue about a past argument, an unresolved conflict. It could be something many years old even. The point is here, the narcissist is going to be mad no matter what. Here, at least in a group setting, you can have a level of control. I used to watch the show Intervention. To be honest, most of the time the addiction would win. However, there are certain episodes I saw, the person is shown in a much better, much happier place, either weight loss or weight gain, sitting on beaches, being just a happy person with their family, rebuilding the broken bonds and traumas of the past with a supportive family unit. So, to say in an intervention to the narcissist, coming from a spouse, for example, if you do not attend therapy alone, then I will separate from you. This could lead to divorce. Most often it does. Now let's assume worst case scenario doesn't work. On the show intervention, often it doesn't work. That's all great and fine and dandy. Now is the time to hold your bottom line. Stand up for yourself. Stop the drama. Move forward. Move on. Don't go to marriage counseling with a narcissist. I have seen so often they're able to even manipulate the therapist. This could make things even worse for you. Look, let's assume it doesn't work here. They decide, the narcissist says, everyone else is crazy, and they are very angry and will not go to therapy. Fine. Another part of this is they might reflect on this. It might make them think twice. It did for me, only after 3 separate people accused me of being a narcissist. It took me a little time, but I accepted it. In my opinion, 3 different people who are not connected, who do not talk to each other, accused me of the same thing. My logic was, maybe there's something there to it. So I know it's obvious here, but if they do not seek therapy, if they do not even make any changes, you must sever all ties with the narcissist. Please understand, narcissism is one of the only disorders that will drive everyone else to therapy, cause massive traumas, health issues. The list is endless. This must be taken seriously. So often a narcissist will slowly hollow your heart out, wash away parts of your personality. They can and will take your voice away. You will walk on eggshells. You will disappear. Parts of you, parts of your personality will disappear. They will be washed away in an ocean, and you will never recover those parts of you. You will disappear in so many ways, like a once beautiful bird flying free and happy. Now you are in a cage, forbidden to sing, forbidden happiness, forbidden freedom. You are not yourself. Look in the mirror. You are no longer you. Okay. So this will conclude my video here. I hope this extended video has shed some light on the nature of NPD and the potential for treatment and growth. I do want to thank you for joining me today. If you find this information valuable, please like, share, subscribe. Your support encourages me to continue exploring narcissism and ways to free yourself. Remember, if you or someone is struggling with NPD, consider seeking professional evaluation and treatment. This is a journey that may lead to positive change and healthier relationships. I have done this for myself and for my family. I do want to thank you for your time today. Please stay safe.